Certara and ChemAxon have had a partnership, particularly around our D360 product. And D360 is a self-service scientific informatics software that's used to facilitate data access so that researchers can quickly get to their data in a manner that makes sense, it's consistent, so they can analyze it, share it with their team members, and make some decisions within the drug discovery process. So the key is to quickly get to the data, and we enable this through some quick search widgets. When the user logs in, they can search a widget, and that might take them to a data set. Maybe it's a simple spreadsheet like we see here, or maybe it's a more complex data view with some visualizations. Maybe it's looking at data across multiple projects. The idea, though, is that we can quickly get to the data and then use it in our data-driven decisions. So if we take a look at a key workflow in drug discovery, it's the lead optimization workflow. And this is a data-driven process where there's a number of steps within the process where researchers have to design, synthesize, send their samples for analysis, and then get the data back. Now, the key to optimizing a workflow like this is really that the data analysis needs to keep in pace with the experimentation. And if we think about the process itself, it goes through a number of cycles before we get to our lead compounds that we want to move forward in the projects. And the real key ways that D360 can help improve the process here is not only giving quick access to the data so that researchers can get at it in real time. Once the data is uploaded into the databases, it's essentially presented and available to the researchers. But it's also presented in a consistent manner so that the researchers can become familiarized with the data analysis workflows. The more familiarity we can introduce here, the more checks and balances, the better the data quality of our workflows, and maybe we can reduce some of the cycles that it takes to get to the end product. Maybe we can shorten the cycles because we're getting at the data a little bit quicker. So that was a workflow example in the small molecule space. We're talking about, and that's traditionally where D360 had been, supporting lead optimization, using functionality like R group deconvolution, teasing apart structure-based activity relationships, and really just trying to work in a sample-centric type of analysis. Well, we've been extending that sample domain to include biologics. And with that, there's some new areas of data analysis, and that's why we've introduced some additional functionality into D360, such as sequence and Helm notation to aid in the exploration of biologics as therapeutic agents. So we've seen an increase in the different modalities used as therapeutic agents, and we're proud that D360 can support these different sample domains. But in addition to that, we even have customers who are using D360 to look at clinical or preclinical animal studies. So not just centric to small molecule analysis, but also broadening out to different study groups. Now, this is all possible because D360 utilizes a generic data model. So it really doesn't matter if we're talking about where the compound data exists. It might exist in multiple data sources. It could be in different databases, different data tables. It really doesn't matter to the researcher. Same thing with batches, and all the other entities that make up essentially a data network. So if we look at this, this is essentially it's a sample domain it's a sample domain. It's a little network that we can pull into D360. And because of our generic data modeling. So in addition to sample domains, study domains, we're able to pull information into D360 and utilize its core capabilities of data access, analysis, and collaboration. So D360 itself, we talked about these core capabilities, but sometimes some companies might not need the full integration capabilities. So for instance, if you're a smaller company and you just got a a database and you start putting your data into there, you might not need all the integration capabilities that D360 offers. So for those types of customers, we offer D360 Express as like a low price entry point to get at your data. It's great to get it into a database, but getting it out, that's another hurdle. So D360 Express is there to kind of facilitate getting at your data in a smaller organization. Increasingly, we've seen that organizations have need to do collaborations. That might be between different companies, maybe some universities, for instance. To handle this, we've introduced D360 Partner. What Partner is that it's an offering that sits on top of D360, so you have the full functionality that you would normally have with D360, except for there's controls over the data flow. So with D360 Partner, you can think of a sponsor site and the partner site. D360 Partner just really manages the flow of data so that only the appropriate data relevant for that agreement is being shared between the project team members. So we talked about different ways that D360 is used as a self-service data access portal for getting at data, facilitate data or decisions based on data, and really get to a faster time to insight. And we talked about the different types of domains that D360 can support. And that's why we're in 5 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies, as well as mid-sized companies and startups. And we take a lot of pride in our relationship with these companies. That's helped make D360 what it is today. We've been taking feedback for 10 years. We're improving the product, evolving with our research partners, just as research itself evolves. And not only do we appreciate our customer relationships, but also our partner relationships. So with ChemAxon, we've had a long-standing relationship with such integrations. So with that, I'll leave you if you have any questions.